Good morning, or good afternoon I think it is. A little bit overcast, but it's quite pleasant today compared to the temperature that's been over the last few weeks. It's not been the best, temperature up and down. Fortunately the frost hasn't had any detrimental effect here. We live on the coast, so the temperatures maybe got down to 1 or 2, but we've survived without any damage to the tomatoes. Particularly some of you may not have been so lucky if you're out further west in Aberdeenshire. However, today what I wanted to do was take the tomatoes to the next sort of step, a little bit of progression of what you should be doing with them. Now I've got one here in a pot just to show you a little demonstration about tying them up to the wire. You remember I showed you there's a little wire up above my head here, and I've actually got one. You maybe just see that string hanging there. So the technique I'm going to show you on this one, and it's basically tied up to this wire up here, and I'll show you that. So basically loosely cut a piece of string. I bought it at the local store, smells of jute, just garden string, cheap, and cut it enough as go up to your wire and add on about 300 mil, something like that, 300 millimeters, and then I just loosely tie it around the bottom. I could get my finger in the little knot, so it's not tight against the stem, it's got a gap and the stem can easily move around it. I don't want to constrict the stem and do any damage. And basically I just then take the string straight up through the plant and I tie it to my wire, and I make a little bow. So at the top you can maybe just see it, but I make a little bow so I can undo my wire. Now the reason for that, there are my little bow. So that's round the wire. If the plant, when the plant starts to grow, I have this fairly loose, and basically I'm only going to wind the plant round the string, or wind the string round the plant. So I need it loose. I can let it off my wire to give me a little bit of slack, so as I can wind it. I don't want it tight, I just want it enough, just like that, just to support it. No pressure on it, and just basically wind it round the plant, undo it, and then retie it at the top. So that's why you need a little bit extra, so as you can undo it off your wire. Some folk will just tie it up, and then some folk may well just tie the plant to it, but I just tend to do that technique. It's nice and easy, it doesn't stress the plant, and I don't get any damage. And I've done it for years, but some may do it differently. You could use canes, of course. You could have canes stuck into your pot, and you can tie them loosely to the cane. That would work. All you got to watch is if the canes are at eye level, you put some protection over the canes. Like I've got on my peas just behind you here, I've got a little rubber stopper, just in case I forget and I can damage my eye. So there you go, there's your string, very loosely strung round. Doesn't need to be anything like that. It's no dangerous, it's not going to hurt the plant, it's quite flexible and non-toxic. Just to remind you, in between here, look, in between the stalk and a leaf, you might find a little bit of growth. There's a little bit there, look. I just pinch it out, and that'll help the plant grow to as tall as you want it. As I said before, 4 trusses, maybe 5, probably plenty for you to try and get them to ripen. And then again, as I said, keep them moist but not overwatered. Overwatering the plant, specifically when there's tomatoes sitting, if you get too much water, they'll take it all up and the plants can, the fruit can burst, the tomatoes can burst open. So you don't want that to happen. They just keep it nice and moist. If you've got a ring culture or however you grow them, the general thing is you feed them from the top and water them from the bottom. Grow bags slightly different. I've got other little rings here that you can just about see here. Tomatoes are growing in, so I can water into this ring, not directly on the plant. So I've got different ways of trying it this year. So with a bit of luck, a few weeks time, as you can see, these were those little seedlings. Don't know if you can see them. The stalks are thickened up now quite well, so they're quite robust. So I should get a good structure of plants on this side. This is the sunny side, more or less south facing. This side a little bit more shaded, and there's a slight difference in the size, but they'll generally come. They will come. They'll grow. So tomatoes, look after them, ventilate. The door's open. It will stay open today. Although it's cloudy, I don't know what the temperature is, but in here, but probably 18. It's comfortable enough. Ideal temperature, I think, with tomatoes somewhere between 20 and 24. If it gets too hot, say around about 30 degrees, and your tomatoes are setting, they won't. The heat affects them. So it's about keeping it ventilated, and that stops things like mildew and all sorts of things. You don't want it to be too damp and moist, so a good airflow through it. Other than that, just look after them. And hopefully you'll get some nice fruit. Nothing better than picking a nice fresh tomato and giving it a wash and eating it. Just also to remind you, when the flowers are flowers are out, you want to help the tomatoes set. I will go around with a little fine paintbrush and just pollinate the flowers, just dust them, tickle them, whatever you want to call it, tickle them. And just to help, because you don't always guarantee you're going to get insects in here to do that for you, but that's what I would do. If you're growing them in a windowsill at home, particularly, they do the same. That's maybe why sometimes you don't get your fruit set, because they haven't been pollinated properly. So that's the tomatoes. Also in the greenhouse, I've been trying something completely new this year. I've got begonias growing in pots, and they are beginning to come. I've kept them fairly dry in here, a little bit of moisture, not much, just enough, and I've got a little bit of success. So first time. Now these are beautiful flowers when they come out. I don't know the colours. I've deliberately not put labels in with the colours. I just want to see what happens with these. I've about half a dozen pots in here. I've got another half a dozen pots across in another little greenhouse I've got over there, and I've done them slightly differently. They're kept more moist, but these seem to have jumped far quicker than the others. But if these come up, I might then swap them over, bring those other ones in here and put them out into the little small one I've got out there. So begonias, look forward to seeing them. Lots of colour, lots of beautiful colour with them. So a little bit of success with the begonias. Got some other plants growing behind me here. You can maybe see their dahlias over my shoulder here, so they're coming on fine, ready to prick out and pot on. And I've also got a little tray of up here of pansies. Not much, but again, I thinly sowed them, as you could see, so they're just about ready now for potting on. That'll be my job this afternoon, is to take them out. So that's been a success. Where I've not had success with geraniums, I planted a tray of 20 geraniums and I've got 2 plants, so it doesn't always work out. That's the fun of it. You experiment and you keep trying different things. So hopefully a few weeks time I'll give you another little update of tomatoes, maybe when they're up about this height. Don't know how long that'll take. That'll depend on the big yellow thing in the sky. Hopefully it gives us plenty of sun and heat, and I'll let you see the progression, particularly when they start to get the flowers, and then what we'll do. Another little idea I have just before I go is, I just wondered if you would give me a little bit of feedback on doing something for the children. I thought my background is not always been in horticulture. I am a carpenter and joiner by profession, and I thought maybe I could show the little ones how to make bee hotels and bug hotels and all those sorts of little things you can have them scattered about the garden and doing. So, you know, I'll maybe give you a little demonstration on making a little bug hotel or a bee hotel. We want to encourage them to come into the garden anyway, particularly the bees and all the bugs, to keep all the aphids and all sorts of things. So let me know. So that's Martin Deer, gardeningtips@gmail.com, and let me know what you think. Will we do a little thing for the kids in the community about getting them outside, away from their from their bedrooms and their iPads and phones and all sorts of things. So thanks for watching again. I will talk to you later, and I'll show you a little bit of progression, hopefully. Fingers crossed that, and the green fingers crossed, that the tomatoes are growing. And stay safe like always, and we'll catch you again sometime soon. So bye for now. Bye now.